If the Pine Gap has been involved in those incident, I guess it's condemnable, I think I would say. And
This guy's a Pakistani guy. He is commenting directly on our alliance with the United States. Could they not find an average Aussie? He's a Pakistani Muslim man. No shit. Of course he would say that.
we should, as Australian, we should look into it.
As Australians, we should look into what is in our best interest. Our alliance with the United States is in our interest for the reasons I mentioned before. I think even the ABC noticed that what they're doing is a bit too much. Look at the title of the video. Alice Springs residents conflicted over Pine Gap's role in US strikes in the Middle East. But look what they had put when it was aired on national TV. Australians conflicted over potential use of Pine Gap intelligence. All right, people. This video that I'm about to show you, it is beyond pathetic, even by ABC standards. You know what? I'm actually just going to play you the video so you can decide for yourself. Have a look at this. So in the middle of Australia, we have a facility called Pine Gap, which is basically in control of the US. It's the US's biggest strategic base in Australia. Let me remind you, the United States is our strategic ally. Our alliance with the US is probably the single most important factor when it comes to Australia's national security. Okay? Everything else is secondary. If we lose this, then we basically have no defense strategy. Okay? I'm not saying that's going to happen tomorrow, but if China decides to invade us, we can't fight it off by ourselves. If Indonesia decides to invade us, we can't fight them off by ourselves. That's why we need the United States. It's the single most important ally we have. I've been emphasizing this point, but look at how they are trying to sabotage that alliance. First, Anthony Albanese did it. How? By refusing to volunteer Australian military assets to assist America in toppling the Islamic regime. What happens, whether the regime is toppled or not, we have a responsibility to show our worth to our most important ally that we are a useful ally. Kind of like how Israel shows its worth. But we have lefty woke governments in charge. They are hell-bent on destroying our alliances. So have a look at this PSYOP. This is from the ABC. It is funded by the Australian taxpayer, kind of like the BBC. Have a look at this.
As the death toll rises in the Middle East, Alice Springs residents with family there want to know what role intelligence facility Pine Gap may be playing in the war.
If the Pine Gap has been involved in those incident, I guess it's condemnable, I think I would say. And
this guy's a Pakistani guy. He is commenting directly on our alliance with the United States. Could they not find an average Aussie? If they wanted to get a brown person, then could they not get a brown person who is actually integrated into Australian society? Maybe he doesn't have the Australian accent, but at least he understands Australian culture and Australian values. He's a Pakistani Muslim man. He's the first person to give his opinion that, oh, it's very evil of us to allow the United States to conduct these intelligence operations against the Islamic Republic of Iran. No shit. Of course he would say that.
we should, as Australian, we should look into it.
As Australians, we should look into it. As Australians, we should look into what is in our best interest. And as I said, our alliance with the United States is in our interest for the reasons I mentioned before. Iran is not going to come and rescue us. In fact, Iran will join our enemies to hurt us. According to Asia, we have already foiled 2 attempted terrorist attacks linked to the IRGC. And this Muslim man is telling us, oh, you know what? We shouldn't allow the United States to use our base, Pine Gap. And it is being done by the ABC. They could have actually picked a woke white Aussie and say, hey, you know what? We don't like our alliance with the United States. But look, they're taking the piss. They picked a Pakistani Muslim guy with a Pakistani accent telling us what is good for Australia. But have a look at this. I think even the ABC noticed that what they're doing is a bit too much. So in the video that I just played you, have a look at this. All it said was Alice Springs Islamic Society, Sayyid Ali. And look at the title of the video. Alice Springs residents conflicted over Pine Gap's role in US strikes in the Middle East. But look what they had put it as when it was aired on national TV. Look at this. Australians conflicted over potential use of Pine Gap intelligence. That's the reason why I decided to make a video on this. Australians. So they're saying, oh, Australians are not sure whether we should maintain our alliance with the United States or not. And who are these Australians? Sayyid Ali from Pakistan, who moved to Australia in 2014. Next week, the ABC is going to interview a Muslim man from Bangladesh or from Pakistan or from Sudan and ask him, hey, what do you think about cousin marriages? And then they're going to say, yeah, well, I think it should be okay. By the way, that's what the Muslim parliamentarians in Britain are advocating for. And their NHS said, maybe cousin marriage is not too bad. The ABC would have said, the British people are umming and ahhing whether we should be able to bang our cousins or not. This is how pathetic that is. Muslims believe that little girls should be married off. After all, their prophet married a 9-year-old Aisha. And imagine the ABC just asked a Muslim guy and said, hey, do you think old men should be able to marry 9-year-old girls? And they would say, yeah, I think so. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. The greatest man who ever lived, Prophet Muhammad, he married a 9-year-old girl. And the ABC would be like, Australians are leaning more towards child marriage. You can't make this shit up.
Ali is from Pakistan, which borders Iran, and moved to Australia in 2014.
Oh my God, 2014 Australian. Wow. Actually, this is the evidence that multiculturalism doesn't work. By simply giving someone a passport or even a birth certificate doesn't mean that they're going to be loyal to your country. Let's listen to this again.
If the Pine Gap has been involved in those incidents, I guess it's condemnable, I think I would say. And we should, as Australians, we should look into it.
Mr. Ali is from Pakistan, which borders Iran, and moved to Australia in 2014. He's horrified by the bombing of a school which killed more than 100 children, still under investigation by the US military.
It's totally outrageous and unacceptable.
3 weeks into the war, the Australian government...
His name is Sayyid Ali. Most likely he's Shia as well. So if you're a Pakistani Shia, then you are definitely pro-Iran. By the way, the supreme leader of Pakistan, the army chief, his name is Asim Munir, he just told the Shia community of Pakistan that if you love Iran so much, then go to Iran. Don't cause any disruption in our country. The supreme leader of Pakistan said that, and we have these psyops going on. Look how pathetic this is. They didn't even pick an Australian-born Shia. They picked a, most likely Shia, from Pakistan who only moved to Australia in 2014. This is why I have been saying non-stop that our alliances that were forged over many decades, centuries even, in blood, because of our shared values, common interests, and sacrifices. Australian diggers died in World War I, World War II, side by side, their British and American cousins. Those alliances that kept the last 75 years completely peaceful, those alliances are being shattered by people whose loyalties lie with other countries. And ABC is enabling it. I don't want my tax dollars to go to the ABC.
Says it won't comment on Pine Gap, but experts say they're convinced the spy base plays a crucial role.
Very good if it does. I hope it does even more. And I hope President Trump puts the foot down on Anthony Albanese. If he tries to be a hero like Keir Starmer did, oh, no, we're not going to get involved. You're not going to use our bases. And Trump said, hey, if we want to use a base, we will freaking use it. Who's going to stop us? And I want to say it again, over and over again, because I know this will be a part of history. There are people in Australia who are not happy the way Anthony Albanese is jeopardizing our alliance with the United States. There are so many people. Pauline Hanson recently said that Anthony Albanese should join the US and Israel in his war against the Islamic regime. Former Prime Minister Tony Abbott said this is pathetic, what he's done. A lot of people in Australia, they stand by their American friends, not with these Shias from Pakistan or the IRGC thugs.
involved in, together with other parts of the American intelligence system, in collecting data which is extremely important to the Israeli conduct of the war and now to the conduct of the war in Iran.
Lebanese-Australian Ellie Melky has called Alice Springs home for 26 years, now forced to cancel plans to visit his sick sister in their homeland.
It's a life and death thing for my sister, and it's also a concern and a real worry for my family in Lebanon.
Even so, Mr Melky supports the US-Australia alliance, as does defence expert Jennifer Parker.
I actually do think that supporting the US and certainly supporting the defence of Gulf states is in Australia's interest.
So too, the need for secrecy.
Undermining that network by being specific about what Pine Gap may or may not collect on every day would actually undermine our security.
But that doesn't sit well with Mr Ali, who hopes bombs falling near his homeland aren't using target intelligence from just down the road. Alex Barwick, ABC News, Alice Springs.
Well, he needs to be sent back then. As the Supreme Leader of Pakistan said, if you love Iran so much, go there. So I thought I'll share that with you because I think this is a very lame, pathetic attempt by the ABC of a psyop. This guy is not an Australian, at least not in a traditional sense. He doesn't hold any loyalty to Australia. Unless you can stand by Australian values, unless you understand Australian culture, and you put Australian interest before everything else, and you give your undivided loyalty to Australia, I think you don't deserve to be called an Australian. I don't care about what accent you speak with or what skin color you have. For example, that Lebanese guy, I can understand him. His sister is in Lebanon, so he's worried about her safety, but he is still supportive of our alliance with the United States because it's a no-brainer. I've said it so many times before. We need America more than America needs us. I heard some woke Aussie say, oh, America would help us anyway because they need Pine Gap. No. If we start discrediting American alliance, if we stop being useful for America, then you're basically telling America that, hey, we're not going to help you, but if China comes to invade us or if Indonesia attempts to invade us, then you come to our rescue. God forbid if Trump is in office then, or Trump 2.0 is in office, they'll say, well, hang on a second. Do you remember what you did to us in 2026? I don't think we're coming. We're not going to let Americans die for the people who hate us anyway. You hated us. So this is pathetic, guys.